Welcome to the Michael Singer podcast, presented by Sounds True, in partnership with Shanti Publications. For more information about Michael Singer's work, access to all prior episodes, and information about upcoming releases, we invite you to join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com.
Jai Gurudev, Jai Masters. There's a word that's very, very powerful, very, very spiritual. Perhaps is one of the most spiritual words in our language. It's called reality. Nowadays, they make believe there is no reality. It's whatever you think it is, whatever a lot of people say it is. That's what reality is. No. Reality is something very, very, very real. And in adapting to, accepting, working with reality, you're going to find out that all the deep spiritual teachings, the Tao, the Gita, the Bible, the Torah, the Kabbalah, Sufi teachings, the doorway to those teachings is reality. If you're not in tune with reality, you're in your mind. The only thing that exists other than reality is what you make up in your mind. Your mind can make anything up. It can say anything. I'm from Mars. Let's all say it. We're the Martian people. And all of a sudden, there's this whole movement. We're from Mars. The mind can do anything you want. It can also try to absorb, come in harmony with reality. How different that is from what we do with our minds is incomprehensible. For example, you make up what you like and what you don't like. What do you mean I make it up? You make it up. Anytime you want, just make something up. I like her. I don't like him. Like, I could just make up whatever you want, yes or no. Likes and dislikes are not reality. Likes and dislikes are mind. They are mind and heart. But let's get that together, because a lot of you guys think that heart is a very, very important, big thing. It is at some level, but not the level you're talking about. Your mind and your heart are in cahoots with each other. They harmonize with each other all the time. If you have a negative thought, you feel negative feelings. If you have positive feelings, you have positive thoughts. Have you noticed? That's how it generally works. All right. But the mind and the heart are programmed by what you've done with your experiences in life. Notice that your experiences in life last 1/1,000,000,000th of a millisecond. They're happening right then. That's what be here now means. They didn't happen before, they're not happening anymore. They're not going to happen later, it's not there yet. The only time that reality exists is now. It's called the eternal now. If you're not in the eternal now, and we're not, okay, you're in your mind. The only place that exists other than the reality of right now is your thinking, is what you make up in your mind. Is that true or not? Okay, all right. Now you understand how powerful reality is. Reality says, I'm real, you're not. Well, if you're out of harmony with reality, what do? You ready? You suffer. That's a true statement. You will suffer if you're out of harmony with reality. Why? Because reality is real. Reality is what's actually happening. What you make up with your mind is not happening. You just want it to be happening. You hope it'll be happening. You dream that someday it will happen. That's mind. It's all mind. I know you all like the word hope. I do too. It's very nice. I would never take it away from you, but hope is mind. You have to hope about reality. Reality exists all by itself. You have to do a single thing. It always has, always will. But I don't like it. Well, that's your mind. But I do like it. That's your mind. So all value judgments, concepts, opinions, hopes, dreams, all this stuff, they're wonderful. If they're positive, it's wonderful. All right? But they're mind. Reality is not mind. Reality, I discuss it all the time, And people sometimes say, why do you always talk about the quantum field? Because it's reality. What do you mean? It's science. Science is studying reality. Science studies reality. You're supposed to enter the scientific principle is you don't have conflicts of views when you step into that. You don't want it to be a certain way. Your experiment is supposed to be a pure experiment. The scientific method is called. That ain't what you got going on in your mind. It's not the scientific method. What you have going on in your mind is what you want and what you don't want, and how to get it that way. What you want, what you don't want, and how can I make it be the way I want, and how can I make sure it's not the way I don't want. That is as unscientific as can possibly exist. But that's what's going on in there, isn't it? That's the problem. So when I discuss things like the quantum field or the fact that 1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun, some of you just sit there and go, yeah, come on, talk about God. I am talking about God. I'm talking about reality. Stop. It's not just words. 1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun. You should know that. Why? Because it's true. It's reality. The Russians know it, the Chinese know it, the Americans know it. It is just a truth. How do you know it's a truth? Science has explored it, challenged it, and we have evidence, abundant evidence beyond anything. Nothing can challenge the fact that 1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun. That's a very, very important reality, because that means there ain't squat going on here, and it doesn't mean a thing. And if you don't like hearing that, I'm sorry. That's what reality says. I'm sorry. But it doesn't say that, ever. Do you understand that? It just says, here I am. It doesn't even say take it or leave it, because you're going to take it. Ever notice how after a hurricane or tornadoes and all these things, the night, my God, you see it on TV, right? The weather channel, oh God, blowing things, trees coming out of the roofs. What's it like in the morning? Sun and beautiful. The sun comes out, the sky's blue. There's reality. But that's not just. What did I do wrong that my house blew up? It has nothing to do with you. That's why I don't teach. You won't hear me teach about karma. Not like that. Not like that. I'm sorry. Events happen. Here's karma. Cause and effect. Events happen. Science. I studied them. They happen. Something will happen because they happen. There. Not right, not wrong, not good, not bad, not punishment, not reward. Just reality. Reality. Otherwise, it's mine. You made up the rest. Okay? Oh, you took care of that. You get some good karma. Somebody else says, I can't believe you did that. You're going to rot in hell forever. Depends on what religion you are. You made that up too. Am I right or wrong? Who's willing to talk truth? This is, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Reality is truth. Truth is reality. The rest is mind. And what you do with your mind, good, have fun. Understand that? What's going to happen when you die? Ready? None of your business. You will find out. Is that okay with you? No, just talking the difference in reality and mind. Is it true that you're going to die? Yes or no? It doesn't matter whether you want to or not. All right? You're going to die. What is going to happen after you die? You don't know. You have beliefs, hopes, dreams, concepts, mind. Are they right or wrong? Just talk to somebody, they'll say I'm right. Talk to somebody else, they'll say they're wrong. Is that right or wrong? How many are there out there telling you what's going to happen when you die? Come on, let's make up heaven. Come on, let's make a good one. I like it. It's wonderful. It's mind. Is it true? You'll find out. Until then, it's mind. If it is not a direct experience that you are having, you are making it up. Is it okay if I talk to you this way? Is somebody willing to be talked to with reality and truth and not mind? Because you can do anything you want with your mind. Okay? So you get to the point where you say, what do we know that can be called reality? So I have two things, and I ponder them all the time. One, the quantum field. What is that? I've discussed this. I'll do it very briefly. You look out here and you see things. Are they real? Well, they're really there. That's part of reality. But what if I look really close, like with an electron microscope? Is it showing me a deeper truth than what my eyes see? Are my eyes averaging out atoms to look like you guys? But there are really atoms. Then that's what's really there. I gave this example the other day. I used to teach in college when I had a class that they let me teach, all right? Long time ago. I have in my hand water. Now don't blurt anything out. Do I have water in my hand or do I have H2O molecules in my hand? Okay. Do I have H2O molecules in my hand or do I have hydrogen and oxygen atoms in my hand? Do I have hydrogen and oxygen atoms in my hand? Do I have electron, neutrons, and protons in my hand? See how you challenge reality? You shut up and you look to the best of your ability. And what you see at the root, as a Buddhist teach, what you see at the root is what's really there. It really is electron, neutrons, and protons. But they bind themselves together to make up atoms, which bind themselves together, but there's still electrons, neutrons, and protons. They didn't change one single iota. See how science sets you free? Isn't that beautiful? Okay? And they put themselves together to make molecules, and they put themselves together to make compound structures that light bounces off of, because it can't make it through it. Light can make it through certain things that are bound together too tight, but if they're bound together too tightly into compounds, right, light bounces off of them. That's what you see. You do not look out through your eyes. The light is bouncing off of objects. It's hitting your photosensitive cells in your eyes, and it's being passed back to you inside. Your eyes are sensors that receive the light and vibrations that come in. They pick it up. Then they have to send it back to you. You're inside, aren't you? You in there? Hello? Hey, you in there? Okay, you're not out here. You've never looked outside ever in your life. We're talking about reality. It's being sent into you. You have sensors, just like a computer has sensors, and that's all being sent in. Well, how's it come in? It picks up these vibrations of light. Why are they patterned that look like him? Because that's exactly how the compound molecular structures are bounded together so that light doesn't bounce off one tiny millisecond to his left or right, but it bounces off his face. That's why you see it as that, because you pick up that light and you don't pick up the light that makes it through. Do you mind if we talk science? Because it's called reality. Did you know you don't look through your eyes? It looks like you look through your eyes. It's an illusion. They are picking up the light that's bouncing off, sending it back. How does it get back to you? You have a wiring system in there, just like a computer. It's called your nervous system. That's why it's there, because it sends the impulses that got stimulated by your sensors back there, and it renders it in your mind. Right now, you're not looking at me out here. You're looking at the image that got made in your mind that looks like me, and you're sitting there, your consciousness is looking at that image. Nobody will talk to you like that. What does it do? It sets you free. You sit there and say, wow, I'm in here. I'm in here. I'm the end user. You are. You're the end user. Okay? And so basically, science, life, truth, 1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun. So what? It means you don't have to worry. There's nothing happening. You're just looking too close. If there's a bunch of atoms floating around, what are you getting upset about? I don't like the color. Is there color? Do you know? I can't help myself. Do you know that objects do not have color? That right now, look around this room. There's nothing in this room that has color. Light has color. Light has color. The light spectrum has color. Hold a prism against light, you will see the colors come out. Different frequencies of light you pick up as color. That's all that's happening. The light is bouncing off of these different objects, and depending upon what frequency it bounces off, you see that the object has color. It does not have color. I'll prove it to you. Turn off the lights. Well, you turned off the lights so that there's no light bouncing off the objects that are out there coming into you. It's neat to talk about, but why? I'm telling you, if you stop paying attention to the fact that you like certain colors, not others, they're just frequencies and the electromagnetic spectrum. What do you mean you like one and don't like the other? All right? It's your mind. Your mind is doing all of this. So let's go back to 1.3 million Earths from inside the sun. So what? Because will you please put you, your thought patterns, your little body, your little family, your little house, your little car, how big is it compared to the entire Earth? How much space do you take up? All right, now 1.3 million Earths from inside the sun. Now what? Stop it. What is ego? A lie. How about somebody inside of me says, I want to be important? You're not. This is called waking up. This will liberate you, will free you. It will get rid of all your suffering, all your problems. And there's 8.3 billion of you guys running around saying I'm important. And 1.3 million Earths inside the sun. I didn't finish. If 1.3 million Earths inside the sun, you're pretty small, aren't you? And how long you'll be here? A few years? You can't handle it? You can't handle reality? You can't handle what's happening in front of you? Okay, well, we'll work down to feelings. We're going to get there, all right? But the reality of the fact is, are you willing to accept that you're nothing? Are you willing to accept that you're nothing? Are you willing to accept that I'm so attractive, I'm so pretty, I'm so handsome? You are not anything like that. You're just a bunch of atoms that bound themselves together, and the little zit on your chin that you're all embarrassed about, how small is that? We're talking about reality. Are you willing to talk about reality? No, because it challenges what's going on inside your mind. What's going on inside your mind? All right, we'll do it right now. We'll get it over with. What's going on inside your mind? I am a conscious being who has received the messages, the impulses, the physics that came in through my senses, and I experienced these moments in front of me since I was born. They came in, I experienced them. All right, well, that's fine. So you just go from moment to moment to moment to moment, have a good old time. No, that's not exactly what happened. Why? Well, we'll talk about it. Because some things that come in, let's start this way. Everything that comes in has a different vibration. The colors, the sounds. Buddhists say it has its nature. A rattlesnake has its nature. Not good, not bad, not right, nor wrong. Not just or unjust. It has its nature. A butterfly has its nature. Are their natures the same? Have you noticed that when you see a rattling rattlesnake 10 feet away from you, it does not feel the same, have the same experience as a butterfly landing on your arm? Which would you rather have? A rattlesnake landing on your arm or a butterfly landing on your arm? Okay? They have their nature. Is that okay with you? Is that okay with you that things have their nature? It better be, because that's the beginning and end of reality. They have their nature. They have the right to, they don't have the right to their nature, they have their nature. It's not a matter of right or wrong, is it? Okay? How about a cockroach? It has its nature. What about a beautiful bird? It has its nature. What about a star? It has its nature. Every single thing has its nature. Who decided its nature? Creation. Got created that way. That's how it is. Evolution, anything. Just that's how it is. It's got its nature. When it comes into you, when what comes into you, it isn't just the physical object that comes into you. A vibration comes into you. In fact, the physical object does not come into you. There's no rattlesnakes in there. The physical object doesn't come in there, does it? Here, my car got inside. No, it did not. It stayed out there, all right? What came in was the light bouncing off the sound, right? The vibrations that came in, picked up by your senses, and the aura, the vibration, the nature of it. It doesn't mean you see auras, orange and red and this kind of stuff. It has a vibration. It vibrates. It comes in, and you feel its vibration. Do you not? Okay, fine. So it comes in. You're in here. You're conscious. What does that mean? I felt the vibration. If you're not conscious, you don't know squat. Nothing's happening. But you're in there. Sometimes you wish you weren't, don't you? Yeah. All right? But you are. You're in there. You've been in there from the beginning. The vibration comes in, and you experience it. That's who you are. You know who you are? The experiencer. You're the experiencer of what? Of the experience. If there's no experience in there might as well not be an experience. What if none of you were in there? And then does anything exist or not? Then I don't know. Okay? But you are in there. So you have this experience of the reality that came in. But you just admitted to me they don't feel the same. this is going to a topic that's very, very deep, and I'm not going to get deeply into it. All right? When it comes in, because your consciousness is not seated in the divine consciousness, it fell from the garden. That's exactly what it means. Your consciousness started to focus on this tiny object called you, your consciousness. But I thought there's just one consciousness. There is, just like there's one sun, but there's many rays that emanate from that sun, and they all fall on the earth in different places, don't they? But in truth, they're all the sun. They're just the sun, radiating, emanating its being. Same thing with consciousness. There's one consciousness, but it can focus. Consciousness does focus. Instead of staying universal, which it stays universal, but it can focus. And your consciousness focuses on your thoughts, your emotions, your body. Why? It got distracted. Can you get distracted? You hear a noise, somebody says something, can you get distracted? What does that mean, got distracted? Your consciousness got pulled down to that object. I got distracted by my thought, by my emotion, by the sound, by you. That's what happens. I focused on it more. What does distracted mean? I focused more on that than anything else. How's that for a Webster definition of a distraction? Your consciousness focused more on one thing than all the other things. If I'm outside and I see a snake, a rattlesnake, somehow I focus on it. Somehow it's the only thing that's going on in my consciousness. There are trees, there's grass, there's leaves, there's people, there are all kinds of things going on. And not in my world, right? There's just a snake. All right? You got distracted. Distraction means your consciousness, the divine consciousness, got pulled down. That is the fall from the garden. Got pulled down to an object or a set of objects, okay? And so what happens is when things come in, they're not all the same. And your consciousness reacts to the vibration. How? One, if you don't like it, if it doesn't feel good, I want to like. It doesn't feel good. The vibration is not comfortable. How's that? Like comes later. When something's not comfortable, you don't like it. But the not comfortable comes first. The vibration comes first. Then you build a concept about liking and not liking. It's how you build your ego. It's how you build what's in there. So it comes in, you experience it, and generally, because you're not seated far enough back in consciousness, in the divine consciousness, everything comes in and passes right through. Everything comes in and passes right through. Everything comes in and passes right through. It's just what happened next. It's just what's there. It's called reality. There's a line in the Bhagavad Gita that's really beautiful. It talks just like this, all right? That says, you have to know the Gita, don't worry about it. But it's Krishna, the Godhead, God's words, talking to his disciple, Arjuna. And at one point, Krishna says, Arjuna, we're not all lost. Some beings are awakened. They're fully seated in me. They're enlightened. And Arjuna says, whoa, how will I know such a person? I'm paraphrasing, of course. Sits he, walks he, talks he like any other man? I want to know if such a great being is free and liberated and merged with God. How do I see him? How do I know? And Krishna says to him, no, Arjuna, you won't know him like that. He sits, he walks, he talks like any other man. If you would know him like this. In sorrows, he's not oversorrowed. In joys, he's not overjoyed. The outside world comes in and passes through. Just the same as all the rivers and streams of the earth pour into the ocean, but the ocean doesn't overstep its bounds. So the enlightened one is at peace, in equanimity, with whatever comes in. All right? That's what we're talking about. That's what enlightenment is. A great being is just absorbing reality and it passes right through. Doesn't mean you can't come down and do something. We'll talk about that. Don't get there, right? But the fact that you are not reacting to what came in. Something comes in, it comes back and you experience it. I said you do one or two things. You either say no, and to say it, you push it away. Do you not? Have you pushed things away? Do you in there push things away that are not comfortable to you? What does it mean not comfortable? I'm telling you, it's a vibration. It's just the vibes, the bad vibes, okay? And it comes in and you couldn't digest those. You in there, the soul, the essence of your being, the self, got too close. You took it too seriously. It came in and you couldn't let it go. You couldn't let it pass through. And what did you do? You did what Freud, this is where psychology comes from. Freud said there's this thing called suppression, repression, denial. What does that mean? Push it away. You in there, the soul, the self, the power of will, has the ability to take reality. Remember we talked about reality? We started there. To take reality. How do you know it's reality? Because it came in. It came in and you experienced it. Was it reality that came in? Forget that you made thoughts about it. Just the experience itself. It came in. You couldn't handle it. What does that mean? I don't want it. Oh, let's go there. Have you ever had an experience that was so beautiful, so unbelievably beautiful, that what you said was, oh my God, it touched me to the depth of my being. I felt like I was in the presence of God. It made it all the way in. That's all you're saying. Nobody touched it. It came in, like somebody hugged you, you're perfect, or something happened, and the sunset was so gorgeous, it just blew you away. What does that mean? It blew you away. That's what it did. It blew you away. And all that's left is I felt I was in the presence of God. You were. Why? Because I wasn't in the presence of me. I wasn't being distracted by me. It blew me away. It blew the me away. We're talking about where that me came from, because it's not real. So this thing comes in and you experience it, and the self, the consciousness, it can't make it through. Why? It's not, we use the word evolved enough, but that's evolved enough means it's busy being distracted and hasn't learned to let go of being distracted so that it could experience where it came from. Because it came from God. It is God. You are 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 right now. Right now, you are sitting in universal consciousness and being distracted by you. What do you mean you are? God is. How? He just says his dance, his lila, right? It's like the divine sport. And we get distracted. It pulls the ray of consciousness. You're all the same ray of consciousness going back. It pulls the ray of consciousness down to your, well, we'll start right there, to the fact that you had this experience. It distracted you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be bothered by it. You're not bothered by the white lines in the road. You're not bothered by the cars that drive by unless it looks like your girlfriend or something. You understand that? Unless it distracts you, all right? Then basically it passes through. That's wonderful. But when it comes in and you resist, that's the key word. You resist. Resist what? Reality. Remember, it was reality that came in. Don't you dare. I'm not judging nothing. It's just reality came in. That's what came in, isn't it? All right? But you couldn't handle it. You couldn't handle reality. So what'd you do? You said, I don't want to experience what I experienced. I don't want to experience what I experienced. How do you not experience what you experienced? By definition, you experience a thing. No, but I don't want to have. I'm sorry. I really am sorry. It's what happened and you experienced it. But I don't want it to have happened. And we got someone in there like that. I don't want it to have happened. Okay, get in a time machine, go backwards, and stop it from happening. All the sci-fis are right about that. It doesn't end up good. They say, don't touch it. When you get back there, don't touch it. You'll screw everything up. You hear me? But you say that, I don't want it to have happened. That's adorable. Why? Because by definition, it did happen. All right. So what do? You can't make the event not have happened. All you can do is refuse to experience it. But you did experience it. But I don't want to experience it. So you push it away. You push the vibration, that entire vibration of what came in. You use your will. That's what's called will. The power within you, the power of self is will. Instead of using it to release and open and experience God's creation, you use it to say, no, I don't want to experience this part of God's creation. So what do? I push away my sense of having experienced it. It's called suppression. I push it away so that I don't. I told you, it touched me to the depth of my being. That thing ain't touching me to the depth of my being. There's no way that's coming in here. Ever said it? Ever felt it? There's no way that's coming back here. I am going to protect myself. I am going to resist. Not the event, but the experience of the event. Are we making sense to you? Do you understand this? This is where it all came from. This is the problem. So now you push it away. Where did it go? Oh, it went away. It did not go away. There's no way it went away. Energy comes in. It has to pass through the universe. It's on its way. All right? You know that song, Across the Universe by the Beatles? You all know that song, right? The Maharishi taught them when they were in India. He taught them everything is supposed to just come in and merge with the universe. It all just across the universe. Wow. Okay. So basically, it didn't make it. Did it? But energy doesn't stop. Energy can't stop. Energy's waves of force. So what happened? You use the force, and you're a powerful being. You use the force of your will to stop that from coming back closer to you, and you hold it in there. And what it does, when that energy comes in and you resist it, where does it go? It has to keep moving. It forms a circle. That's why a circle is such an important shape, form in creation, because energy can stay in one place and keep moving. Do you see it? Listen to me. If it circles around itself, it's still moving, but it's staying in one place. That's what you did. You took the energy of the event that you didn't want to experience, you pushed it down, and it started to circle around itself. What did? The sight, the smell, the taste, the thought, the emotion, every single thing about it, you suppressed it, you pushed it away, you resisted it. Where did it go? It didn't go anywhere. It stayed right there. In yoga, we call that a samskara. That is a samskara, a pattern of energy that you resisted and is circling around itself. Does it come back up? Does it come back up? Can something that happened to you when you're 5 years old, when you're 70, come back up? Can you have little sensitive subjects that we don't talk about because they hit your stuff? They stimulate the samskara. They awaken that, and it comes back up in full glory, doesn't it? Can you walk into a room, a kitchen where somebody's cooking, and it smells like a spice that your mother used to use, and she died many years ago, and you were very close with your mother, and you start crying. You start feeling, all of a sudden, mommy comes back. No. You walked in a room with a smell. And not mommy. Not for you, is it? Because you stored that stuff in there. And it's coming back up. Good things, bad things. You store stuff in there. That is so important that you understand that's reality. Reality is you do those things. And reality, that's what's going to happen. That's what psychology is all about. If you don't do that, they're out of business. It's because you can't handle reality that you push it away and it gets stuck inside of you. Well, what happens to it? Ready? Because it's in there and you know it's in there. How do you know? You're the one who's keeping it down there. Not necessarily your conscious waking mind. That's why it comes up in dreams. It comes up whenever it can. Why? Because it's supposed to. Why does it keep bothering me? Because you didn't let it go. That's why it keeps bothering you. I don't want it to bother me. Then let it go. I can't let it go. It hurt to start with. It's going to hurt more. I'm so sorry. It's physics. It's metaphysics. It's energy. It's going to try to come back up. Do you know that? You have to go out of your way to live in certain places where there's no rattlesnakes. I've been divorced, and all my exes live in Texas. I don't go to Texas. You are avoiding the stuff you shove down there. That's what your likes and dislikes are. You dislike things as you had experience in the past that weren't comfortable. You stored them, and now you propagated that out to say, well, I don't like blondes, or I do like blondes. I don't like foreigners. I like foreigners. I don't like Jewish people, but I like Jewish people. Just every single thing that you ended up storing down there is determining your likes and dislikes. There's a reason Hitler was the way he was. I don't like it. I'm Jewish, all right? But there's a reason. Go check it out. What happened with his parents, what happened with this, some past lives, but I don't know. I don't want to know. Everything has a reason, right or wrong. Everything has a reason. Everything has a cause. It's all cause and effect. So it's passing through. But if you can't handle it, then you store it. You suppress it. You push it away. Like there's denial, repression, suppression. I just say resistance. Do you resist things in there? Including the car in front of you who's driving slower than you want to drive. Including the temperature outside, which is either colder or hotter than you want it to be. Do you resist? And therefore, you store this stuff in there. I don't like cold weather. I don't want to go up north. You must have had an experience. I don't like snow. You've never been in snow. Yeah, but I saw a movie. No, that counts. Any impression that got in there, well, you pay attention. That's what's going on. You want to talk about what you're distracted by? You're distracted by that. That's the biggest distraction you have, is the stuff that you couldn't handle and you shoved down. By definition, you can't handle them because you didn't handle them. That's why you push them away. When they try to come back up, you push them back down. Or you try to manipulate the world so they don't come back up. And I have to say it, to be fair, that's a negative samskara, a pattern that you pushed away because it was very uncomfortable and you don't want to experience it and you push it away. Are there positive samskaras? I don't like talking about them, and I don't want you to hear about it. If you can get away from the negative ones, you're doing great, okay? What's a positive samskara? Oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. I was love at first sight. She's my soulmate. I feel I have to be with her. I feel so open. I got a problem. She's not here anymore. She went to work. She went to the store. Hear me? I'm not okay, because I'm only okay. I only have eyes for you, dear. An event took place. Did it take place? Yes. Did it hit you so beautiful that it touched the depth of your being, that you just merged? You just, oh my God. Yes. Yes, it did. Then what? Well, then we go about our lives. No. We want that again. We don't go about our lives. No way in the world. You can come right here and don't talk to anybody else. And all of a sudden, this positive score is causing all kinds of problems. But it is something you held on to. That was an experience you had. I know it's beyond your comprehension to say, I am experiencing the reality of God, and I am open. Then there's no samskaras, positive or negative. Are you telling me that I feel madly in love with somebody and I feel that love and I just merge into it and that's the end of it? Yeah. If you don't touch it, it will keep happening. But you do touch it, don't you? Buddhists call it clinging. You cling to it. I want it to happen again. I want it to stay. I'm not going to let this go. You stay with me, right? A very human thing, isn't it? So we push away the bad vibration and we cling to the good vibration. That's what your likes and dislikes are. They're not something you made up. They are the result of experiences you had, and this is how you dealt with them. There's lots of experience you have that don't do that. They make it right through. I would say at least 95% more. 95% of every experience you ever had made it right through. What do you mean? You walked down the street, you saw some people, you didn't know them. You're able to let it go right through. Then it's not bothering you. Good or bad. What happens then? You're not being distracted. Well, what if I'm not distracted? Then your consciousness is not being pulled down to you. Well, what happens to it? It starts noticing that down there is a mess called witness consciousness. It was the mess that I made, the mess that I stored inside of me, that I'm trying to run away from my whole life, run away from myself, run away from all the stuff that I built in there. But if you're not being distracted by the outside world, then you're at peace. You're open. You're open. And then things happen and you stay open. Okay, they happen. Let's talk about that now. Do you deal with them? Of course you deal with them. Life is an interactive sport. It's not just get me off the planet. You're here for a reason. But you don't deal with them because you can't handle them. That's not why you're dealing with it. I can't believe what you said to me. I cannot handle that. Where do you... No. That's not how you deal with it. You deal with it by handling it. I can handle this. Yep, you were in a bad mood. You said something. It felt yicky when it came into me. There it goes. I can handle that. Now what? I don't have to come out and change it because I can't handle it. All I'm doing is bringing the yicky that's inside of me and pushing it out on top of you. But if I can handle it and just say, all right, okay, fine, I can handle this, then what? Then I can look outside and say, how can I help? Not how can I help me? Not can you say you're sorry, you better say you're sorry or I'll never forgive you. In other words, you figure out what to do next so it neutralizes the garbage I have stored inside of me so I feel more comfortable. No, you get to the point where your true spiritual growth is about. Reality is reality. I can handle reality. I can handle reality. That's your mantra. I can handle it. I can handle it. Okay, if you can handle it, then let go of the tendency to resist. Don't let go of the event. It already happened. The problem, when I talk about surrender and acceptance and non-resistance, it means it came in. I have my initial reaction, because of all my garbage I stored in here, is to push it away. I'm not going to resist it. What do you mean? I'm going to get lost in it? To bury myself in it and feel? No, I'm not going to resist it. I'm back here. I have the right to not use my will to push this thing away. I have the right to use my will to let it go. I mean, grab it and throw it away? No. To literally let it pass through me. Just the same as when I said it was so beautiful, it touched me to the depth of my being. I want it to touch me to the depth of my being. Because the alternative is to suppress it. The alternative is to store it inside of me, and then now I don't like you anymore. But I apologize. Yeah, you'll do it again. I know you will. You want to talk honestly? Let's talk honestly. Somebody does something really hurts you. Said something, did something, whatever. Okay? And they were sincerely trying to apologize. And eventually you accepted their apology. Okay? And basically the discussion went something like, but don't ever do it again. Promise me. Promise you won't do it again. You know what that means? It's not done. Do what again? I thought it passed through. No. It didn't exactly pass through. I just was willing not to push it away so hard. 2 years later, that person does something that reminds you of what they promised they would never do again. It's right back. Right or wrong. You didn't forgive squat. Forgiving means letting go completely. And that's serious spirituality. In other words, I pushed it away. Gross mistake. Have you noticed that it takes 1 second for something to bother you and could take years for it to stop bothering you? Now do you understand what I'm teaching you? This is the reality of the inner world, not just the outer world. This is reality, and you guys don't deal with it. You don't understand. You push that thing away. I used to have a motto: you touch it, you own it. Well, what do? You learn to accept reality. Meaning, if it happened, it doesn't mean I won't deal with it. I told you that. Don't get me wrong. But if it happened, it happened. Am I okay with that? Do I like it? Of course I don't like it. Is it fair? What's it got to do with fair? It happened. It obviously happened. It's reality. That's what's going on. Can I handle the reality that it happened? And the answer right now is no, I can't. I'm a mess. Aren't I? I'm a mess. Things have to be the way I want them to be for me to... Things have to be the way I want them to be for me to be okay. Well, they're not going to be the way you want them to be because they are the way they are. It has nothing to do with what you want. What you want got built inside because you resisted all this garbage. What he wants, she doesn't want at all. And what you wanted yesterday, you were scared to death of today. It's just stuff you're doing with your mind based on these samskaras, based on these patterns you stored inside. That's why everybody's different. So you get to the point where you say, wait a minute, if I want to be happy, if I want to feel joy, if I want to get closer to God, if I want to be a greater being, I have to accept reality. I started with the word reality, didn't I? I have to be willing to accept reality. But what is not fair? I told you, fairness is something that you made up in your mind. Is it fair that a tornado came through? No, I didn't do anything wrong. I had somebody once tell me there was flooding in a subdivision down the road many years ago, and the houses were flooding. And we all went down there to help with sandbags and all that stuff. And this beautiful lady, I'll never forget, obviously this is 20 years ago. This beautiful older lady comes out of her house. She says, I don't know what I did wrong. I've been to church every Sunday. I didn't miss any. Mind. You hear me? It's just all mind, isn't it? So you get to the point where you realize, if I'm going to be in here experiencing reality, and you are, all right, you're going, I don't care if you drop out, you're going to experience reality. That's what's going on. If I'm going to experience reality, I have to learn that my primary reaction to reality is acceptance. I started talking to you about will. We use our will to protect, to push it away. When you push it away, it's staying in there. Please listen to me. It's going to affect your marriage. It's going to affect your food. It's going to affect every single thing you do for the rest of your life. okay? It's like a virus, a computer virus. It just gets down there and it spreads out to everything. Know what it's like to live in there. What's the alternative? Learn to accept reality while you have no choice. You're going to suffer and make others suffer. That's why the whole world is the way it is. Everybody's trying to make it be the way they want. It's not the way they want. It's the way it is. Does it have to stay that way? Of course not. There's cause and effect. But the past is going to stay that way. No one's ever undone the past. So you better be okay with it. Okay meaning I like it? No. It came in. It passed through me. I'm at peace with it. Now, what can I do to help? Don't forget, that's the next step. Now that I'm not doing it for me because I can't handle it, I can handle it. What can I do to help? To help what? Me? No. To help my mother? No. To help the situation. You can always do something to raise the situation. Okay? It's amazing what acceptance does. But until you can reach a point that everything fits inside of you without judgment, with compassion, with understanding, then you can look outside and blessed are the peacemakers. That's what the Bible is. Blessed are the peacemakers because they'll inherit the earth. You're not peacemaking by yelling and screaming and fighting. And it's when you understand when the whole situation, both sides fit inside of you just fine. You're at peace. I understand. That's called compassion. I have compassion. Of course you don't see it the way I do. How could you? You had different experiences than me. You suppress different things. That's a very great being. That being can bring peace. That's Gandhi. That's King. And so how do I do that? What do? You stop thinking that the world is supposed to be the way you want it to be, because it's not. It's just not that way. You have to be able to accept reality. How do you do that? By not resisting. How do you do that? By relaxing. When it's all said and done, that's what it boils down to. The opposite of resistance is relaxation. In order for me to fight you, I need to resist, bring my energy down. If I play judo, right, and I relax, you fall past me. I have to be able to let it flow through. And it can all flow through. It can all flow through. Do you understand that? It doesn't seem possible. It can all flow through. Why? Because 1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun, and I didn't finish my discussion yet. The sun is one of 300 billion stars in your galaxy. It's just one of those little twinkly things, just close enough to where you see it and feel it. 300 billion and 1.3 million Earths fit inside one of those. And what are you saying is wrong? What are you complaining about? What? I don't even understand. You can't even see the Earth. You know how many places there are in the galaxy that you could look with the biggest telescope you ever had and you'd never see the Earth? Billions of them. And there are 2 trillion galaxies. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Who is willing to let go of their stuff that they built inside their mind based on their past experiences that they liked and didn't like and all this kind of garbage in order to say, OMG? Because that's God. All the galaxies, all the things, that's reality. And it should be your reality. Contemplate it. Next time you don't like the driver in front of you, how they're driving, take a little step. Take a step back and sit there and say, wow, I'm on a little planet with little carts that scoot around. Give me a break. Does anybody understand why we talk about reality now? How do you work with it? Because we're not in harmony with it. You know that. You're in harmony with you. You're not in harmony with reality. Everything about you is me, mine, my children, my this, my clothes, my this, what I like, what I don't like. How do I get this? How do I get what I want? I, me, mine. You're distracted by you. It's not a distraction, it's an addiction. What happens if you don't get what you want? How do you get what you want? You get weird. You get weird. Right or wrong. If you don't get what you want, you get weird. If you get what you want, you get weird. All right? So you practice how? And that's where I finish. What it comes down to is, okay, we're not there. We're pretty lost, aren't we? You have to start practicing. Practice what? Practice acceptance. Practice accepting reality. So if the driver in front of you is driving slower, not using blinker, or whatever heck it is, you don't tailgate them. You don't beep at them. You sit there and say, I can't handle a lot of things in life. I think I can handle this. If I want to, I could probably handle the driver in front of me. Right? Do it. Just for kicks. just for play. What do you mean? I feel this tension. I feel this anxiety. It just passes a sign that says 65 miles an hour and they're going 40 and a single lane highway and you're in a rush. Hear me? Okay. It's called reality. Can you handle it? What does that mean? It means you will feel the tension. That tension and anxiety is due to resistance. You're pushing away reality. That's what you're feeling. When two things push against each other, two forces, it creates tension. That's what you're doing. Well, how about we don't do that? I always sit there and say, okay. I always love it if Mickey's doing that, right? And if it's really bad, he's good about it now, much better. They're not good, but he's better, all right? And you go down and the person turns 3 blocks later. I look at it, you know what I do? I stick my tongue out at Mickey. He caused all that trouble for 3 blocks. And the other one I really like is if I was driving slow and I can pass, right? And I 2-line, I find the not a line and I pass, okay? And I go the speed I want to go. And then I get to the highway and I stop at the stop sign. And 15 seconds later, they pull up behind me. This is called having fun with yourself. It's called understanding what it means to say, I'm going to work with myself. And then you start letting go. How? Relax instead of resist. Relax instead of resist. It's high, relax instead of resist. Find some positive way to think about it. Do whatever you want, but do the opposite of this tendency to protect yourself from reality. And what happens if you can do it with the driver, if you can do it with the weather, if you can do it with little things that aren't the way you want, have fun practicing letting go. You practice, that's what surrender means. It doesn't mean surrender that the outside world can do whatever it wants. I told you that. It's not like some drug dealer comes up to you and says, hey man, want some heroin? Well, Mickey said surrender. No, that is not what it means. It means if you feel resistance toward that person, instead of understanding it's God lost inside the garbage that's causing this to happen, right? Let go of the resistance. Maybe you talk to him, maybe you don't. Doesn't matter. But use it to let go of yourself. That's what surrender means. Surrender is inside. So basically, if you'll do this, next thing you'll know, your husband or wife will come home and they had a bad day, and they'll come in and they'll go to the bedroom, close the door, and you'll feel rejected. You'll feel bad. I made a dinner, or I did this, or I want to go out, right? So it hits you wrong. Can you handle that? No. Can you handle that? Here's the checklist. Did it happen? Yes. Can you handle it? Yes. Because the alternative is you will suffer. And so will he or she when they come out of that room. So it's not about right or wrong or just, no. It's about, can you handle it? It happened. Can you handle it? And when you sit there and say, yes, I can handle it. You just let it go. Relax through it, and your energy will make it through you. It's called transmutation of energy. Comes in as anxiety or anger or guilt or fear, and you just relax. Relax in the face of it. But I don't want to. I know you don't want to. You'll never want to. Do it anyways. And you just relax through it. And over time, the energies will make it through you. And all of a sudden, things won't bother you anymore. Why? Because you learn to handle them. And you'll become a positive force, not just on the earth. In the moment you're interacting, you will find a way to lift that moment. It doesn't matter, smile, not yelling, not reacting. Just lift the moment. Do what you can to lift the moment. Some people are in positions where they can really do a lot to lift the moment, but not out of anger, not out of hatred. Hear me? Out of love. All right. Now you understand the word reality a little better? Oh, namaste. Thank you.
You've been listening to the Michael Singer Podcast, produced by Sounds True in partnership with Shanti Publications. For more information on Michael's body of work and all back episodes, please join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com. Thanks so much for listening. Sounds True, waking up the world.